Okay, so um regarding the test and the presentation that we were supposed to do, we're gonna hold it off for like maybe 2 weeks, or maybe we'll do it next week, or the week after. But for now, it's okay. Just gonna hold off on that. Okay,
So
so
I
what?
have ordered the books. Inshallah, the books will be here next week.
Yeah, so next week. So we'll just do the
Inshallah.
test the
Yeah.
week after. Okay, so today we're gonna be talking about signs of Qiyamah and things like that. So there's 4 lessons. We'll try to do at least 2 on this. So okay, so start. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so the signs of Qiyamah. So the signs of Qiyamah, obviously, what we know is that what is Qiyamah? First of all, Qiyamah is what is gonna be the last day of this world, and that's the day where everyone will be judged. That's why it's called the day of judgment, where everyone's gonna be judged, and then decide their fate is gonna be decided whether they go to Jahannam or Jannah. Okay, so also about the day of Qiyamah is that that day is gonna be one day, but it's gonna feel like it's 50,000 years. Okay? That one day is gonna feel like it's 50,000 years, and over there, no one's gonna know each other. Okay, like they're gonna know each other, but like they won't care. Like obviously, everyone's gonna be so scared. They're gonna be running around. No one knows. No one's focusing on anyone else. They're just thinking about themselves. What's gonna happen to them. Um. Also, people are gonna be so thirsty because the sun is gonna be like very close to their heads. Okay. So and because of that, everyone's gonna be so thirsty, and the only way that you can survive that heat and not survive, obviously no one's gonna die, but basically able to withstand the heat, like so you don't feel pain or anything. You withstand the heat and the thirst that you're having. What you're gonna do is that the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is gonna be standing at a river, and he's gonna give everyone, like the Muslims, a cup from the river. So that's the only way basically you can, you know, and it's a sign that you're gonna stay. That's a sign that you're in good hands and you're gonna go to Jannah, because obviously if Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam himself is giving you water, and people who aren't good people, right? And they're gonna try to come get that water too, and the angels are gonna drive them away. Then she's gonna drag them away, so they don't get water. Okay, so let's try. So closer and closer draw on to men their reckoning, and yet they remain heedless of its approach, and they turn away. Okay, so closer and closer the time comes, and yet people still they turn away. They know it's coming closer, but they still turn away from it. They know Qiyamah gonna come, but they still don't care. The world is a temporary abode and will be destroyed at a time only known to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nabi Sallallahu has given us certain signs that indicate that the final hour is drawing closer. These signs are divided into 2 groups: minor signs that indicate the weakening of the morals of mankind, uh, and major signs that deal with the occurrence of special events. Okay, wait 1 sec. Let's check something. Yeah, okay, never mind. So obviously no one knows when Qiyamah is gonna happen. Okay, it's not mentioned anywhere. The exact date, exact time, or even an estimate or anything. It's just not mentioned anywhere. The only thing we have from the hadiths and stuff is the signs that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave us about, and those signs are divided into 2 groups. One is minor signs and one is major signs. So minor signs are just like they're small, and they slowly make things worse, like slowly make big things worse, like the small things you won't even realize. And then major signs obviously are like major things that are gonna happen, and that obviously when there's only a few major signs, and those major signs when they happen, you're gonna like obviously like it's so obvious that you can see it, that okay, now that the Qiyamah is near. But minor signs are happening all the time, and for minor signs, it's not when it happens, it's how much it happens. So I'll give you an example when you go down. Oh, these are all minor signs anyway, so I'll just give you this. Okay, so the major signs will take place after the appearance of the minor signs, some which are: women will give birth to their masters, i.e., children will rule their parents, and parents will serve them like slaves. Okay, so obviously this has been happening. This stuff happens all the time. I mean, not just like now, even in times back then. But what makes this different now is that it's happening way more than it was before. That's why it's a minor sign, because now that it's so like it's happening everywhere, that's how you know that the Qiyamah is getting near. Okay? Same with the next one. People lose their sense of shame and modesty. Okay, same thing like that. People now you see all the time on social media everywhere. The way people dress, the way people say things. Just they just say things online for everyone to see, do things in public that just for everyone to see. Those type of things. It's happening. You see it all the time. Obviously, it happened before too, but it's not on the scale of what's happening now, right? Okay. Muslims will lose respect for the masjid, talk loudly, and make noise therein. So another sign, it's not mentioned, but in the masjid, there will be music being played in the masjid. Now, if you think about it, you're gonna be like, that makes no sense. But what you see is that some people, or not some people, mostly, almost every single time you go to the masjid, right? It's like there's always someone whose phone isn't on silent. At least one person whose phone isn't silent, and the phone rings in the middle of everyone's praying, or just in the masjid, with even if they're not praying, right? It rings, and obviously the ringtone is music, and music starts playing in the masjid. See, that's what he means. If 1400 years ago, Nabi Sallallahu said the music will be played in a masjid, and it's basically coming true now. You see it now. It's such a common thing for someone's phone to just ring, accidentally forgot to put it on silent, and then their phone rings in the middle, and then there's just music playing. Okay? And talk loudly, make noise therein, all those things. There'll be very few learned ulama. Okay, that's just basically just a general thing. There'll be just less people guiding Islam, meaning less scholars, less those people. Music, dancing, and intoxicants will become widespread. Once again, music is basically everywhere nowadays, like everywhere. Just even like a normal video you'll be watching, like there'll just be background music, and you won't even realize, because it's just a normal thing. Yeah. Okay. Same with dancing, same with intoxicants. Obviously, it's not like it doesn't have to be you doing it. It could be you listening to it, watching someone listen to it, watching someone do it, or I'm talking about dancing, watching someone do it, or you being there, in that place where people are doing this. And same with intoxicants. Intoxicants are basically everywhere. People still go to convenience stores and work there, knowing that people buy alcohol from there, like cigarettes and all those other thingies, right? So like it's being sold at a convenience store, and you're not allowed to work in places that sell these type of things, but people still go to convenience stores and work there. People disrespect their mothers, become distant from their fathers, and draw closer to their friends. Okay, so this is a big thing too. Obviously you see it now more nowadays than you did before. Wars will occur, people will not know why they are being killed. Okay, so you can already see a huge example right now, like what's happening right now, the war that's happening right now with Russia and Ukraine. Okay, people, just normal civilians that have nothing to do with anything. Okay, they're just minding their own business, living life, are being killed out of nowhere. Why? Just because the other country wants to invade them and take over. And they're just asking themselves, like, why are we being killed?
Excuse me.
Yes.
I accidentally left. Can you send me to Ushba's class?
Yeah. One second.
Okay, you can join.
Oh wow, she left. Okay. Okay, we'll go back to where we were. Okay, so the thing I was talking about wars, just uh okay, so people being killed for that reason, even before all those like other wars that happened, in Iraq, all those. Why were there wars happening? Because just because a certain group of people who aren't good are in one part of a country. Okay, so there's obviously terrorist groups around all part of like Iraq, all those Middle East countries who are obviously not good people, but they're just there. So instead of fighting those people who are in that one area, they would fight the whole country. And now fighting the whole country obviously means innocent people dying. And those innocent people obviously don't know why they're dying because they're just random bombs being thrown at their house. Same with Ukraine, same with everything. Everything that's happening, you'll see that's how wars are being done these days. Before wars were, the army would come out, both armies come out of the city, they would fight each other, boom, settles it. One side wins, the other side takes over the city, not destroys the city and then takes over the place. Okay, sickness and disease will become widespread. You can already see there's a huge example already, the virus that just happened. Virus is happening, all those things happening, disease all the time. If you can look it up online, look at all the stats of the disease that happen now, like not just diseases, all these like sicknesses, like look at the rate of heart attacks that happen now and from before. It's way more. Like all this, like just normal sicknesses all the time are just way more than what they were before. People with the worst character and morals will take up leadership. Once again, a huge like examples all over the world. Look at all the like just look at different countries and look at their leaders. If you look at huge example right now is you can look at Pakistan right now, right? The leader, the leader that was the good lead person, he gets kicked out, right? And the people who aren't good, they're ruling the country now. You could say the same thing for you'll say the French president. The French president, was against Muslims, and you can see that he's not president, sorry, prime minister, whoever he is, sorry, he's the prime minister, or America. You can always see America always has presidents like that. People always like to what's his name? People always like to praise, Obama and everything. And what people don't know is that he was actually behind. Oh, who's this? Okay, he, people always talk about Obama. You know how he was a great president. He was that. He was this. What they don't know is that he actually killed more people than any other president has ever. In all the Middle East countries. So yeah, so once again, this is the leader. People who aren't good people will become leaders just because they can. Like they have money, they have the power, they can become it. Natural disaster will become common. You're always hearing wildfires in this country, wildfire in that country, earthquake here, tsunami here. Just all the time. America, every single day, all you hear is wildfire that happened in California, wildfire happened in Florida, just happening constantly. Earthquakes too. Earthquakes happening all the time. Some mini earthquakes happening all the time. Okay, so all these are just like a little bit of minor signs that are happening in the world right now on a much larger scale than it was happening before. So these are clear signs that the day of judgment is coming near. Okay, so I'll try to go into even more minor signs next week because I have another book. I was just trying to give you like just basically like the basic things right now, and then like these are just like the main, not even the main ones. You're just some of like hundreds of minor signs that are happening. Okay, so if we go on the next one. Okay, so next we're gonna be talking about is Imam Mahdi. Actually, before we do that, let me just see if there's any question you guys may be asking. Okay, so out of these minor signs, so you could even use the same example I used. Okay, so out of these minor signs, okay, just name me a minor sign and then give me an example of what's like of them happening in the world right now. Like you can just use the same example as I did or something, or you choose your own example. Okay, so anyone want to go, and then or I'll just pick random people if no one is. Okay, Kamo.
Natural disasters like
Yeah.
Australia that's having like wildfires.
Yep, Australia's having wildfires, and on the other side of the world, there's also wildfires happening in America. Okay. And actually, even like I think how many years ago was it? Like 2 years ago, 3 years ago? I can't remember. But even Canada had a wildfire in the I forgot the name of the place, but they had a wildfire too. Farah or Zara?
Wait, can you hear me? Okay.
Yep, I can hear.
The one about disobeying the parents, TikTokers. TikTokers are ruining humanity. Okay, yeah, TikTokers.
Yes, good example. Nurul Ain.
Dishonesty and bribery will become common. Like people will start lying to their parents, and people will start bribing to basically like get stuff or whatever.
Yep. Anyone else? There's just lots more. Nabiha?
One sickness and disease will become widespread. Obviously, COVID is an example.
Yep, COVID is an example. And even years before COVID, there's been two different type of pandemics that have happened. Like obviously not on a scale of COVID, but they have happened. So in basically these 20 years, three different pandemics, more like around three different pandemics happened. Actually, four if you count Ebola. Kamo?
There'll be more wars.
Yep, there'll be way more wars. Yep.
Like Russia and Ukraine.
Yep. Anyone else? Anything else do you want to say? Rahim?
Leaders will have bad characteristics.
Yep. And can you give me an example of that if you know any? That's fine. Okay, it's fine. Anyone else?
Drinking like toxic stuff and like alcohol.
Yep. That too. It's nowadays it gets sold on every corner shop. Before it was just restricted to certain stores. Like certain stores, and now it's everywhere. Even actually there was a time that alcohol was actually completely prohibited in the whole country. And then obviously they changed it because they can't live without alcohol. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. Okay, so for next week, it's not a presentation, but I just want you guys to do some research, like just a little, on a piece of paper, right? Write some minor signs that you see, not these ones, because we already mentioned them. But any other minor signs that you see, and then give me an example of what you a good example of the that what you see in this world, in the world happening around you, or around you, or in your daily life maybe, or somewhere around the world you see it happening, or anything like that. Okay, so just maybe just like 3 or 4 each person maybe, or like 3 or 4 each person. Just find like any minor signs that obviously isn't mentioned here, not major signs. Major signs, Imam Mahdi, Yajuj, Majuj, Dajjal, not one of them. I'm talking about like the minor signs, like these ones that we're just talking about, like these small ones, right? So find any of them and then give me an example, write an example too beside it, on where you see it. Is it like happening around the world right now? Where is it happening? Is it maybe something that's happening in your daily life that you see, among your friends maybe, or just anywhere in general? Okay, so something like that, and then just I'll ask you next. Okay, and the next week we're gonna go talk about more minor signs. Okay, so just write it down somewhere that and then tell me next week.
Do I still have to do it or no?
Yeah, sure. Just write 2. You just go online, find 2 minor signs that we haven't talked about, and then just write an example of where you see them today. Okay, so this okay. So next we're going to talk about this. Okay. So Imam Mahdi. Okay, and who is Imam Mahdi? Imam Mahdi will come to this world. He will be basically the leader of leader of all the Muslims. Why do people keep joining the group? And I don't know. Okay, where are they gone? Okay, so Imam Mahdi will be the leader of all Muslims who will come. He will come to this world. And he'll be the leader of all Muslims, and then he will lead all Muslims.
Which one do you connect to? Sorry, internet. It's not working.
For your meeting.
Test.
For it?
Oh, sorry. My mic's not working, and it's like test. Sorry. Okay, continue.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so he'll come and he will rule the world. He ruled all the Muslims. That's basically it. Okay, and now what he is or who he is, we'll talk about that now. Nabi Sallallahu said the Mahdi will come from my progeny, meaning come from his family. So Mahdi, the Mahdi, Imam Mahdi is gonna come. He's gonna be from his family. Okay. He will have a broad forehead, high bridge nose. He will fill the earth with justice and fairness, and just as it is filled with injustice and oppression, he will rule for 7 years. Okay, so he will come to this world from Rasulullah's family. Okay, so he will come from his family, and he will rule the world for 7 years, and in those 7 years, Muslims will be at peace because of him leading. After the appearance of the minor signs, the major signs will follow one after the other, like beads that fall off a broken necklace. Okay, one after another, the major signs will come, and then that's how you know the signs of Qayamah are coming to an end. So the first one that would come is Imam Mahdi, or one of the first ones that would come is Imam Mahdi. He's gonna come to this world, and the world will be filled with great amount of injustice, oppression, and constant wars. Okay, the world will be a very dark place at that time. Muslims will be disunited and very weak. Okay, the Muslims in a very dark place because all the countries are fighting. There's wars happening with other countries. So many things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send him Imam Mahdi as a leader of all the Muslims. Okay, his name will be Muhammad, the same name as the messenger sallallahu of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His father's name will be Abdullah, and his title will be Al-Mahdi, meaning the guided one. Okay, so just like Rasulullah sallallahu, his name will be Muhammad. Okay, his father's name will be Abdullah, and he's gonna have a title called Mahdi. That's why we call it Imam Mahdi. And Mahdi means the guided one. Should we move this? Yeah, there we go. It means the guided one. Okay, so just like Rasulullah, same name, same father's name, and he's gonna have a title called Mahdi. Imam Mahdi will belong to the Quraysh tribe and will be the direct descendant of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, just like Yes, Nabi Salam, he'll be part of the Quraysh tribe, and he'll be direct descendant, meaning direct like daughter, son, just like that. Daughter, son, daughter, son, like just like that. All the way till now. Imam Mahdi radiallahu anhu will belong I'm sure that he will have the characters and morals of Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam Mahdi will reside in Medina and will undertake a specific journey to Makkah at the age of 40. Okay, so when he's 40 years old, okay, he's gonna be just like Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He's gonna look like him, or like not. He's gonna not look like him. He's gonna resemble him, like meaning gonna have similar features or like look similar to him, and he's gonna have the same character, same morals, same way of life, basically like Rasulullah Sallallahu. And the Imam Mahdi, he's gonna decide to travel to Medina and Makkah for a specific journey. No one knows what journey, probably maybe for Umrah or Hajj or something. He's gonna come for a journey to Makkah at the age of 40. And so while making tawaf, a group of saints known as the Abdal will recognize him. Okay, so while he's just gonna be there, minding his own business, and then there's group of people, okay, these group of scholars, these group of ulama, right? They're gonna come and they're gonna see what's his name? He's gonna see Imam Mahdi. They're gonna see Imam Mahdi, and they're gonna be like, wait, he looks like the described Mahdi, like, because obviously Imam Mahdi, he's like the way he looks and the way he does things, is all written somewhere. So they know how he looks like and what he's gonna do. And the second they see him, they're gonna be like, wait, he looks exactly like the who the Mahdi is gonna be. And then they're gonna go talk to him, and then they're gonna make him the leader. And they're gonna, he's okay. So the Muslims will insist that he become their Muslim leader. He will reluctantly accept the position, and Muslims from all over the world will pledge alliance to him. Allegiance to him, sorry, not alliance. Allegiance to him. Okay, so all over the world, all the Muslims are gonna come together, and all of them are all gonna basically become his followers. And then he's gonna lead the world for 7 years, and those 7 years he's gonna become he's gonna be the leader of all the Muslims. And obviously it's gonna be hard for some people to just be like, oh, he is this the Mahdi? What if he's not the Mahdi? People maybe just claiming to be the Mahdi. Obviously people are gonna have doubts, because it's just gonna be such a huge thing. This is the first major sign that's ever gonna happen in the world, and obviously some people are gonna be confused. So, and a random voice from the sky, and unseen, not sky, anywhere, there's gonna be a random voice and an unseen voice. No one knows who it is. No one, they're gonna confirm that this is the Mahdi. Okay, just like, so when people hear that, they hear the voice, so like the voice saying that this is the Mahdi, obviously everyone's gonna start believing now, because that's the sign that confirms that the Mahdi is coming and the Mahdi is real. He's not a fake. Nowadays, if you look online, like, I'm not even joking, if you look online, I'll go on YouTube and write guy, or lots of people just write guy pretends to be Imam Mahdi, okay, or something like that, right? You're gonna see so many videos of random people saying they're Imam Mahdis, like people going to like those like Muslim programs and whatever, and they're talking to the Imam saying, or the Imam of the Masjid saying that he's the Mahdi and stuff like that. Like, no, he's not. Like, this is how Imam Mahdi will be found. He'll be found in Makkah. Sorry, he'll be found in Makkah by a group of people, and will be confirmed by an unseen voice that he is the Mahdi. Okay? Imam Mahdi will have to fight many battles against the disbelievers. Allah will grant him victory over his enemies. Okay, so he's gonna fight many battles with many different countries, many different things around the world, many different people, and Allah will grant him victory against all his enemies. He will rule for a period of 7 years, during which time there will be a period of absolute peace and barakah. So the 7 years are going to be one of the best years for Muslims, like basically ever. Imam Mahdi will eventually move towards Damascus to await the descension of Nabi Isa alayhi salam. One sec. Okay, so Imam Mahdi will eventually come to Damascus, and while he's there to Damascus, Isa salam is gonna come down. Like, oh no, he's gonna know that he's literally going to Damascus to see Nabi Isa or Isa alayhi salam coming down. Like he's literally coming down from the heavens, and then Isa alayhi salam is gonna rule the world. And those the Isa alayhi salam and Dajjal is gonna be the next, Dajjal and Yajuj and Majuj. Those three are gonna be the next next major sins. Sorry, not sins. Is it major? Wait, major signs. I don't know what I said sins. Sorry, major signs. Major signs we're gonna talk about. But before we talk about that, we're gonna talk about the minor signs first. All the minor signs. So this is just like I told you before, these minor signs, these 11 minor signs are only like 11 out of like hundreds, maybe like 200 minor signs that we know of, that Nabi Sallallahu has said. Okay, so we're gonna talk about like more next week, and we're gonna go into more details about the other major signs. Okay, so once again, these are the minor signs. Sorry, once again, Imam Mahdi. Who is he gonna be? He's gonna be a person from Nabi Sallallahu family, and he's gonna be the one to rule the world for 7 years before Isa alayhi salam comes. And there's gonna be, in those 7 years, there's gonna be total peace. Actually, not total peace, because in those 7 years, they're gonna be wars in the beginning, and then after those wars, they're gonna keep winning and winning every war, and until they eventually basically like rule the whole world, or not the whole world, or rule like most things basically. Muslims are gonna be like one of the strongest people at that time. Okay. And what else? And how he's gonna be found? Once again, he's gonna be sitting in Mecca, and a group of people are gonna find him. They're gonna say, he looks like the Mahdi, and he's acting like who the Mahdi is supposed to be. And then they talk to him. They find out he is the Mahdi. And then when they announce to the world that this is the Mahdi, people are gonna hear a voice, a random voice. No one knows where the voice is or where it's coming from. It could be an angel, it could be someone, or anything, or anyone. Obviously only Allah knows, but there's gonna be a voice, and it's gonna say this is the Mahdi. It's gonna confirm it's the Mahdi. Okay. And then what else? And then he's gonna fight many battles, and he's gonna win all of them. And then 7 years of peace and barakah for all the Muslims. And then he's gonna go to Damascus, wait for Isa alayhi salam to come down. And when Isa alayhi salam comes down, then Isa alayhi gonna be the new leader. And he's gonna fight Dajjal, and then after Dajjal, he beats Dajjal, Yajuj and Majuj are gonna come, and then they're gonna deal with all that, and then after that, and then after that, that's gonna be the last major sign. Actually, there's still more major signs, but that's gonna be like the last, like that thing that Isa alayhi salam deals with. Okay, so next week. Okay, so next week, as you can see in the chat, just make like either a small presentation, basically a small presentation of minor signs that you see, or some minor signs that isn't mentioned here, because we already talked about these ones. So any of these 11 that aren't mentioned, okay, research them, right, and talk about what they are, and give an example of where you see them around the world. Maybe you see them among your friends, maybe you saw them in real life, you see them every day, or it's like a normal thing. Maybe you see them happening in different countries, something like that. So okay, so that's it. I think you're supposed to stay in the class, because Sam's gonna do something to you. Yes, okay, so that's it. Subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanaka wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, wa salamun alal mursalin, walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, just wait for Sama to do what she's gonna tell you to do.
Okay, so Jazakallah khair, Huzaifa. So I just want like you guys stay and discuss the points you just read about the signs of Qiyamah, and start working on your presentation. So alhamdulillah, it's a very huge topic, and why it is so important to know about Imam Mahdi. Let me stop recording for a minute.